NBJ93. We're in consolation mindset here. This is the finals between That Drizzle and Jammer. We've got Philly and Florida. Remind me which to the left and right is the home team in this.
I think that might be a demo, as neither player has.
Oh, it's a demo. That's a demo.
Currently.
Okay, I was gonna say that was a bit of a strange. Maybe a good time to throw out. Well, look, we got some information. Okay, so Jammer's Boston versus Pittsburgh.
Okay, so we're starting out with the heavyweights for each player. Boston, Pittsburgh, probably the number 1 and number 2 teams in this game. With Jammer having Boston at home, they're actually going to be pretty good skaters in this case. Typically on the road, they can be a little slow, and if they're cold. Pittsburgh, whether they're skating slowly or not, they're still going to be big and tough and skilled puck, and it'd be a handful for Boston to work with.
I threw up the teams they both have available here. So that's going on, just waiting on the for them to get the green light from us. But you can see the teams they have available. Drizzle with a couple top-tier teams, and then you kind of have a mix there, top to bottom. So that Drizzle certainly has a chance from a team standpoint, but Jammer being a tremendous player, we'll see how leg on line factor plays in, but Jammer is definitely the favorite. He was expected to compete in the top side of things and got bumped early, so let's rock and roll.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise to see Jammer here, like you said, in this consolation bracket, but that just means we're in for a lot of entertainment. I think that Drizzle is going to step up to the occasion, or we hope he does, and we can have ourselves some very high-level consolation play to wrap up this Hustler tournament for the Super Nintendos. We had Genesis wrap up a couple weeks ago, and now we're putting the finishing touches on Super Nintendo on what I would probably assume to be a very successful tournament.
But by far the most popular one that we've done. Next thing on the horizon is NBA Jam Tournament Edition. Signups are light on that. I think that there's some hesitancy of understanding maybe what's going on. We have 9 players. I think if we have 15, we can massage things with how many people advance per round to make that work. We need basically an odd number of players to start it out, the way the teams work out with the number of teams in NBA Jam. But let's focus on NHL94 for now. If you'd like to get on the NBA Jam tournament, we're about 5 players short of where we would want to be at a minimum point. So if you know someone, get them in. It's you already have all this set up, you can play. So NHL94, Boston and Pitt. Jammer, a big fan of Boston here, so be interested to see how he does. Glenn Wesley gets checked there. Puck is cleared by Mario Lemieux and touched up by Bork for icing.
Yeah, Bork, you should see a big game from him. A lot of fireworks. He's going to be one of the players here to try and offset the big Pittsburgh forward line, and then he has enough skill and skating to get involved on offense in Super Nintendo.
Face off the pit zone, and Murphy taken down. And Neely tried to go short side. Ruzicka misses the net, and Barrasso feeds it to Yager, to Stevens, to Lemieux. Now takes the zone, being harassed. Back to Yager, and Neely has it, but still in the Boston zone, and the feed to Kevin Stevens. Larry Murphy, Lemieux, and Stevens with the quick goal there. 3:45 remaining here in the first period. It's 1-0.
Nice play there by that Drizzle to draw out the goalie to the edge of the goal crease and left Kevin Stevens unmanned for the easy tap and after the pass was completed.
And Ruzicka attacks the net, taken down. Yager feeds Stevens. The give and go to Yager right in the crease. Yager with the goal assisted by Kevin Stevens. It's 2-0. That Drizzle over Jammer.
Drizzle showing some good vision here. Again, another one-timer, working the give and go, as you said, with Yager crashing in at that far post for another tap and goal.
Oates on the wing and beats Barrasso. Adam Oates assisted by Cam Neely. And it's 2-1 game here. Jammer closes the lead.
Getting goals early and often here. Oates kind of the wild card in this matchup. He's the most nimble skater on the ice, so if he can get around those big Pittsburgh defenders, he will get more chances just like that.
And looks like Neely being held in the slot there and up against the board, still bouncing around. Now Yager has it. Jaromir Yager up to Kevin Stevens, who has a goal already. And now we have Ray Bork coming the other direction. Bork taken down. And a feed that gets piped out. Yager was fed by Lemieux. And that one looked like it might squeak by the other way. And now there's a breakaway. And a vacant net. And Jaromir Yager makes him pay Larry Murphy with the apple. It's 3-1.
Third time's a charm here. We had just chances up and down the ice, the post for Boston, and then the goal line saved by Larry Murphy with the outlet pass to the forward. And kind of a interesting one-timer. Had the possible deke chance and then goes to the blue line one-timer from Yager, and it worked out.
Interesting line change here. Looks like Vlad Ruzicka got yanked out. I didn't see who he put in to replace him. Did Jammer. But I know Ruzicka is a common sub for Boston, especially in this matchup.
Yes, Ruzicka is very popular in the Super Nintendo version. It looks like Juno's portrait, so I assume it was Juno who was brought in for Ruzicka. Boston, if you're more of a Genesis player, Boston kind of takes on a different form in Super Nintendo. They go from a lighter weight bug team that's more defensively focused to a very offensively gifted team with Neely manning the center, Bork just able to kind of run and gun as he pleases, and Ruzicka is really your main support forward. But in this game, it looks like Jammer's not too pleased with what Ruzicka has brought to the table.
And they've made a comment that may be a different. If there's anyone out there that wants to host, by all means. But we're just here to commentate it, and whoever's hosting will connect. We'll do the thing. Wesley now off the face-off and puts it on glove side of Barrasso, who turns it away and feeds it up to Yager, who has a 2-on-1, 2-on-2, and a quick one-timer in the edge of the slot. Joe Juno now into the zone the other way and tries to feed Neely, and a nice deke. Barrasso out of position. Or correct, yeah, that was Barrasso. 235 is Mogan. He got black and white. It throws the guy off. But Neely with a goal there. It's 3-2.
Really sweet deke there by the Jammer. Just was able to kind of fake that backhand deke and brought it back forehand very quickly. And Neely's going to put that shot away every time.
The Vancouver club will be pleased to see that one. And we've got Murphy to Samuelson to Yager to the end of the period. It's 3-2. Welcome to the end of the first period.
Yeah, Vancouver club may be interested, may be happy to see Neely score for Jammer there, but I know back in the late 80s, early 90s, they were sad to see Neely get away from the Vancouver Canucks in real life. It was an unfortunate deal for them.
And a quick look at the stats there. Break that down.
We've got 11 shots total, so plenty of chances going both ways here. Really exciting hockey, just up and down. Even though those two teams are a little bit slower, their skills really shining through here.
All right, so Neely to Juno, and the putback. Oh, what a diving save by Tom Barrasso. Samuelson up two, the magnificent one. Mario Lemieux back to Samuelson. And he finally enters the zone and had Moog beat, but he double stacks the pads. And just enough on it. Juno destroyed on the boards by Jaromir Yager. A little bit of a delay there. Yager now getting stalked. Bouncing off defenders. Quick one-timer to Lemieux and turn the other way. And Oates loses it. And a one-timer floating over the top. Nope, Ray Bork has it now. Bork to Oates. To Juno. Juno gets destroyed by Kevin Stevens. Samuelson. Pass is intercepted by Neely now the other way. Takes the zone. And a nice deke. But Barrasso is there. And Wesley touches it up. We'll have an icing call.
Seeing the goalies get involved here, that miraculous diving save by Drizzle earlier in the period, saving the goal.
And a quick one-timer to Glenn Leslie from Joe Juno and Cam Neely off the face-off. We're all tied up at 3.
Drizzle unable to save that one. Just a beautiful one-timer play off the face-off. Too quick to stop, really. I mean, just really tough to stop that type of execution by Jammer.
And a one-timer, man. The pressure is on if you're in the bottom end. And a check. Joe Juno the other way. So I guess Joe Juno was the prescription. The cowbell, if you will. And a floater shot now over the back of the net. Juno unable to retrieve it. Gets back up, and now he has it. Now Samuelson up 2. Lemieux bouncing off of players, and a shot. Backdoor shot attempt. That's been working for that Drizzle. That one turned away, and now Barrasso getting aggressive with the goaltending across, and so we'll see if he overcommits later on in the game.
Yeah, gonna have to be careful with that Jammer, veteran player. He will be looking out for that type of goaltending.
Larry Murphy now gets it up to Stevens. Stevens to Lemieux. And a nice feed, but intercepted by Wesley. Oates now, but taken down from behind. May have a penalty shot here with 1 second remaining. Nope, it's going to be a cross-check.
Yeah, Drizzle saved on that one. Doesn't have to worry about the penalty shot as Jammer very dangerous and alone on breakaways.
Dan K saying, I effing hate Joe Juno. Just a general thought. Now, this is something that I learned. There's a Tecmo player that goes by 8-Bit, and he told me he lives in Minnesota, and I understand that Joe Juno is a resident of maybe the Twin Cities area. Paraphrasing the story, but my understanding is he was somehow related to him. And had reached out, tried to see if he could attend our tournament when we had it in Minneapolis. It didn't happen, but I appreciate the attempt. And if he showed up and you were there, Dan K, I expect you to tell him that to his face.
I suspect Dan K would be buying him a beer.
And I apologize for all that banter. Did you happen to get a good look at those stats?
I did. Looks like Boston's passing just hasn't been on point. They're sub 50%, so Jammer can start to snap the puck around a little bit more effectively. Might open up some passing lanes and scoring lanes for the Penguins to have a big third period here.
Stevens turned away. Adam Oates now gets taken down by Lemieux, feeds it back to Larry Murphy. Kevin Stevens now with it, not moving super fast. He's a bit of a pylon out there, and taken down by Joe Juno of all players. And a one-timer, Juno to Oates. Lemieux is taken down. Oates has it, now feeds it back to Juno. Juno takes the zone and intercepted by Jágr, feeds it behind, and now Barrasso scoops it up. It's Ulf Samuelsson to Jágr. Jágr on the wing looking for an option, a friend, and tries to go short side on the deke. May have made contact with the goalie, unsure here, but there's a penalty delayed against Pittsburgh. Wesley up to Juno now with the extra attacker on the ice. Pipes it out, and is finally touched up by Larry Murphy. We'll see what the penalty's all about. Yep, it is interference against Kevin Stevens, who went for that short side deke.
Actually, Kevin Stevens got run into the goalie by the defender. Jágr was going for the deke,
and there's that.
Drizzle.
I don't know how that was unassisted because Wesley just got that off the face-off. It's 4-3.
Yeah,
Jammer.
Sometimes Super Nintendo, there's some bugs on the passing. It doesn't calculate all the assists. They're a little stingy in that regard, but still another beautiful play off the face-off. That's Jammer's second goal in a row in that manner.
Joe Juno obviously listening to this broadcast. Dan K. All right, hat trick. Jaromir Jágr unassisted wraparound 4-4. That Drizzle was on the ropes there and threw a counter punch, and we're all tied up here. 1:31 in the third.
Counter punch indeed, as he was getting punched in the face by Bork, and I was surprised that even went in. So Jágr really elevated that puck nicely to beat Moog far side.
Andy Moog turns it away, but Kevin Stevens has it. We're coming up on a minute remaining in the game, at least in regulation. And a one-timer in the crease to Jaromir Jágr. Go to the replay and see if he had both skates in there. 55 seconds remaining here. They don't really call that in 94. 5-4. Jammer up by one here, who started down, I think, 0-2 in this game. So a really good comeback by him. And you'd hate to use Pittsburgh and not come out on top.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a big game here for Drizzle to get off on the right foot, and so far he's doing just that.
All right, well, that'll do it. That Drizzle comes away with a 1+ with these two teams and wins game 1 out of 5. Now, just a reminder to all out there, it's all about the goal differential. The wins are simply a tiebreaker should we have the exact goal differential at the end of the 5-game series. So it doesn't matter who wins the first 3 or even the 4 games. It is going to be a matter of the goal differential at the end of the tournament. So let's take a quick look at who they have left here. So we have that off the board. So Drizzle will have Chicago, Detroit, Quebec, and Toronto. Toronto also available to Jammer, and then Philly, New York Rangers, and the Edmonton Oilers. Flopping back here again, that Drizzle up by 1, and we're going to find out what's going on with the hosting situation. Okay.
We may have a slight delay here as they are going to be looking for a different hosting solution. So we'll give that a few minutes to try and get that alleviated. So I assume Jammer won the previous toss, picking the home team or home ice first. So I'd expect Drizzle to do the same thing, pick home ice, and there's some interesting matchups here. I don't know who Drizzle's going to try and put up against Philly. Most of the defenses he has left is not really well equipped to handle a Philadelphia, especially if Philly's at home with their high home ice advantage. So if Drizzle gets home, I expect him to probably go with either Chicago or Toronto, probably Chicago. And then as a counter, I would probably expect to see Toronto from Jammer. So that's my prediction for our next matchup here in Game 2.
All right, so now we're in the almighty what's going on. Fed is going to host. Well, that's a great thing.
That's actually ideal because Fed and Jammer are essentially neighbors in the NHL94 online community.
Yes, so I think Jammer's going to get a connection benefit here because he's going to be in a lower latency situation. I don't know where that Drizzle is located, but I mean, and we did see some of the stuttering that was out there, so good on them finding a new person. All right, so we got a new password. I'm going to drop out of this and get back in. Fun thing, my controller stopped working. I have to figure that out for playing, but at least I can use.
So it looks like That Drizzle is from New York. So this is going to be a cross-country connection regardless. But without it being in 3 different locations, we're still essentially in 2 different locations at New York and Vancouver. We hope it's playable from here on out, as we did, like you said, see some glitches, some slowdown. We definitely want to try and avoid that in such a big situation.
So just trying to find out who the teams are. I don't have. Again, this is the fun part of what we do is getting people into games. There's a little bit of lack of flow with this situation, but they weren't happy with their original connection. And I don't see the game up just yet, so maybe they can get us the details of the teams, and then we can talk about that matchup while we're waiting for the connection to come back up.
So I think this is a good opportunity just to thank everyone for joining in, being involved in the chat. Continue to do so, please. I mean, we enjoy the commentary and the questions and just the all-around good-natured banter that we have been receiving throughout the course of our 2 tournaments in this Hustler format. The chat's been just as exciting as the on-ice product in a lot of cases.
And if you guys can help me get to that 15 or plus mark, I'll run another SNES Hustler if there's that much of a demand. People talked about it. I just don't know with the summer if people actually have the time to play it, and that's half the battle with these things. And I'm okay with putting a pause on things until the summer winds down, and getting back to it then too. So we'll see. Parts unknown. So if he's from Parts Unknown, is he at all related to the Ultimate Warrior or just Warrior, R.I.P., the late Warrior?
You never really know how close those Parts Unknown guys are to each other because the parts are unknown. We don't know how much distance is between those 2 parts.
Tremendous breakdown there. We're running out of content for you guys. Come on,
it's a Sunday evening. We're doing our very best to bring the energy level to maximum. I know Dan K lives at maximum level all the time, but he's a different character.
Oh, come on, brother.
He's always got his elbows up and his grapes peeled, as he likes to say.
Okay, so we're going to have Chicago and New York Rangers. So we've got That Drizzle at home with Chicago.
So I got one team right. That was That Drizzle at home with Chicago.
Here come the Hawks. Look at my jersey, I guess. Excited about that.
They've been coming since we got on the stream with you here. And the Rangers. So Jammer really going to the well here, picking his 2 best teams in these 2 matchups. So if That Drizzle can weather this storm, his outlook becomes that much more positive as Jammer's going to be using tier 3, tier 4 teams for the remainder of this matchup. And it's a little surprising to see Jammer with teams still in those tiers remaining, as he's been in the constellation. He on Super Nintendo, King of 94 in Vegas, 3 years back now. He went through the constellation round as expected. I thought he might have some more tier 1 teams available aside from just Boston. So it'll be interesting to see how he continues through this matchup with That Drizzle here.
All right, just gave them the green light. We are in. So let's talk about these particular teams. I mean, Jammer's got the thumpers on the ice, doesn't he?
Yeah, New York, the physically superior team in terms of the breadth of the lineup. Steve Smith on Chicago can definitely handle himself out there, but with Tikkanen, Messier, Patrick, and even to a lesser extent Kevin Lowe against Chicago's front line, he's more than capable of handling business out there. Chicago's going to have to use their superior skill and skating. If Roenick can get some shots off, he could be in for a big day, as his 5.5 shot rating really plays up very nicely here in Super Nintendo.
So we're going to have the Kevin Lowe's versus the Grisbowski's Home Depot lineup for That Drizzle. That was a terrible joke. Michael Goulet being subbed out for Christian Rutu, number 22, and that's a typical sub in the Genesis version as well. Welcome. Steve Larmer at center for That Drizzle. I'm Trojan. This is Game 2. Hanging out with Angry J, doing some Super Nintendo 5-game series. All about the goal differential in the end, so the win's not particularly relevant. But That Drizzle is +1 right now. And Richter turns it over, and Messier finds a way to scoop it up anyway. And Mike Gartner puts it on net, turned away. Chelios to Larmer, and Roenick gets the rebound, and it's 1-0, That Drizzle.
Roenick just, very intensely crashing that crease for that rebound opportunity. The Rangers defense vacated completely, and he was able to just go home and casually tap it in.
I don't know how Mike Gardner didn't tap that one. Just tap it in.
Puck was too good for its home.
Absolutely. If you can do an impression or pull that out.
Looks like we have an icing here, so we'll see the Blackhawks with an offensive opportunity here in the offensive zone, but they lose the face-off here.
And we have the one-timer to Asa Tikkanen from Messier and Lowe. And using the no payments for 6 months card, it's 1-1.
Yeah, a goal from where you least expect it. Defensive zone face-off, just immediately won it and went down the ice and effectively created a scoring chance and cashed it in.
Messier crushed by Smith, feeds it up to Larmer. Larmer to Roenick on the wing, and intercepted by Lowe, and feeds it up to Messier, now to Gartner. And tried to go short side. He did have a backdoor pass if he wanted it. He held on to it instead. Roenick goes the other way and is checked. Now picked up by Mike Gardner and taken down from behind by Christian Rutu, who didn't even buy him a drink. And pass intercepted by Larmer. Lowe takes down Roenick. We may have a penalty shot. Yes, we do.
We'll see what Jeremy Roenick has up his sleeve with his 5.5 skating and 5.5 shooting here.
Really just no room. Double stacked the pads, and I don't know, he looked like that fat kid in the flying V formation. I don't know. 1-1 here, your score.
Yeah, Richter pulling his best Goldberg there, just stayed back in his net, ate up all the space he could.
I haven't seen that movie in 20-some years. Thank you for pulling out the name there. Goldberg, I understand, was he had a meth problem?
I believe he has had some problems with some addiction. I'm not quite sure of the exact nature. I don't want to speak too much on it if I'm not fully educated, but yeah, there's some complications from what I'm aware of.
Well, hopefully he's into the Heisenberg Blue. At least get the good stuff. And oh my gosh, a little bit of lag there, so I don't know if the K-Fed host is really doing much. But we're 1-1 going into the second.
Go
ahead.
Sorry. Hopefully we're the ones just seeing that lag. It's not the players. I know there's some situations where the players are just perfectly fine. It's the spectators who are noticing any sort of delay. And hopefully that, the K-Fed situation is helping out. But with this long pause without going to the stat screen, I do begin to wonder if the connection is still providing issues.
And there's really not much that we can do about it. Yeah. I'm trying to tell him,
Looks like they're going to try and continue through this. I don't know if there was any issue or if it just needed to pause to grab a drink of water or something, but it looks like we're back in it here.
And Larmer is going to sit out for the period. He had a whole 5 seconds of work there. Popped right back up, but the doctor says you saw 75 figures, and that was it. So he's going to sit out, and we'll see who he puts in. Ruutu, Roenick, and should we guess Dirk Graham? Is that what's going on here?
It looks like Dirk Graham on the dot with his defensive awareness and his face-off ability, but we're going right back to the edit line screen. And it looks like Roenick's going on to the dot here. So Gartner getting the most bang for his buck on this injury penalty, knocking Larmer out for essentially the entire period. And we're going to get a little adjustment here. Probably see Messier coming at the left wing as Gartner sits in the box.
And if we can get technical, Larmer's supposed to be on the other team anyway.
Exactly, yeah. This was the year that Larmer was moved on to Chicago, and Tony Amonte coming back the other way.
Oh, roughing just the way your mother lectured, Trebek. Mike Gartner in the box. We got a power play here for Chicago.
If only Sean Connery could have been one of the guest hosts on Jeopardy.
That would have been legendary. R.I.P. Alex Trebek. And Graham gets it to Roenick, and he loses it. And Asa Tikkanen, and he goes short side, beats the glove of Ed Belfour, and it's 2-1 in favor of Jammer.
Drizzle did a really nice job on defense to try and stop the breakaway chance and allow him to body check the Ranger forward, and Jammer just nicely looted it and potted the goal.
Yeah, Messier had a chance there. And getting a little bit toddling going on there, and the feed Ruutu from Roenick and Chelios. It's 2-2. We're all tied up.
I'm seeing a lot of one-timer goals here from that Drizzle. Just a lot of guys crashing that far post, parking themselves in the crease, and tapping in those short one-timer shots, and they're being really effective so far. We'll see if Jammer can adjust to that on defense.
And 122 to the other. Gardner lost it to Ruutu, who made an attempt down the other way. And now Asa Tikkanen going down. He's getting held up, turned away by Belfour, and clears the puck. And low touches up for icing.
Yeah, veteran play there by Jammer, allowing that puck to cross the goal line and create that icing.
And an attempt right on the net right away. And now here comes Graham. Graham on the center, but playing on the wing side. And a shot turned away by Lowe. So it's the story of the subs right now making plays.
Yeah, Chicago really using their depth to a great effect here.
And a one-timer, perfect give and go down to Gartner from James Patrick and Kevin Lowe, and it's 3-2.
Gartner back on the ice, not on his natural center position as we started in the game, but from right wing, still getting involved on offense, finishing off that one-timer.
Graham intercepted by Tikkanen, who is trying to get past the pack. Roenick is there with company, and Tikkanen takes it behind Belfour, bounces off of Roenick and taken down. Roenick now with the breakaway with Lowe in his way, tries to feed it to Ruutu. Ruutu takes a shot, misses the net entirely, and another feed. There was an opportunity there. The pass was not true. Graham can't get a hold of that pass, and here come the Rangers. And Ruutu now intercepts that pass, the physicality coming into play. Tikkanen going short side, but he pipes it. Belfour picks it up to Ruutu. Ruutu bounces off of Leach, and in an attempt for Roenick pipes it out. Under 10 seconds here, and this will be the last shot of the period, and the shot from Ruutu is turned away, and 3-2 in favor of Jammer going into the third period.
Jammer with the lead here going to the third, but that Drizzle really putting on the pressure. If Ruutu was just more on target there late in that second period with a few of those one-timer opportunities, we could be talking about a tied game here. If he wasn't getting so involved on defense, we might see a sub for Ruutu, maybe Joe Murphy. And it looks like Larmer is getting bypassed for Dirk Graham as we continue into the third period.
Maybe he forgot, maybe he doesn't care. But if he's having some success using him in that situation, and oh my goodness, out of position. We saw the aggressive manual goaltending in the last game. He went a little bit laxed on that one. Messier put it home, and it's 4-2.
Yeah, Belfour took a poor angle on that one, came out on his crease instead of going over to his other post to take away that far side. And immediately, that Drizzle going to Larmer, putting Dirk right back on the bench.
Kevin Lowe has the puck, but loses it. Trying to feed it in behind Belfour, who scoops it up, and now we have a breakaway. Nope, turned away. Kevin Lowe took down Roenick and now has the puck, and is taken down by Ruutu and Chelios. Chelios feeding up to Larmer, who's back in the game. And a give and go. Roenick back to Larmer, who takes a shot turned away by Richter. And another shot, one-timer from Larmer, turned away by Richter again. Tries to feed Tikkanen. And now Brian Leach being stalked behind Belfour. Comes into the slot. And the net comes off the moorings. And they'll have to reset the net on the marsh pegs. It's 4-2. Face off in neutral ice. Here comes Mark Messier. Dancing around. Now he's in the zone. And tries to feed Tikkanen. A shot against Belfour turned away. Route 2. To Larmer, who is going to spend the rest of probably the game out of it. He's injured again. Back to back. Leave the guy alone.
Yeah, recurring problems here for Larmer. He may not have been able to shake off the effects of that second period hit. Goes back to the medical room here in the third. Chicago really needs to take advantage of this power play here. This is an opportunity for them to cut into that deficit.
And we have a comment, a lot of piping on this stream by the big Valbowski. You know something about pipes, don't you, Val Venus? Ladies.
Hello, ladies.
That was well done. That was better than mine.
Yeah, I watched a lot of the Attitude Era growing up, so I remember Val Venus quite well.
His promos, man, those are some of the best one-time innuendo things there ever was. And we got a delayed penalty now against the New York Rangers. And a shot stopped by Mike Richter. We had a 2-goal deficit here, and it's going to be 5-on-3. This is the time for the Blackhawks to capitalize.
Yeah, difficulty level increased here for the Rangers, now down 2 men. But they clear the puck right off faceoff.
And finally, scooped up by Belfort to Roenick, who's playing left wing. Taken down by Tikkanen and clears the puck. And wisely down the ice, picked up by Graham. Not the televangelist. Graham feeds it to Roenick. Bounces off of Richter. Chelios has it now after an attempt the other way. Time ticking away under 10 seconds. And there's a goal by Roenick. And at the very worst here, you're looking at an equal situation going into Game 3 here. So nice job by That Drizzle to... Oh, it puts a shot on net. I give him credit for that effort. But Jammer takes this one, Game 2. So we have a 0 net goal differential right now for these 2 games.
Agreed. Very nice job there by Drizzle to get that late goal. Jammer is trying to be very composed, very conservative with his dump outs on that penalty kill, but that Drizzle was able to get one more chance, take advantage of it, create the 0 goal differential that we have moving forward. So it's essentially a 3-game series now instead of a 5-game series. And I think, again, like I mentioned earlier before this game, that Drizzle has a slight advantage in the team selection, and we've seen that he's been able to keep up with Jammer in both these games so far. So, without big adjustments from Jammer, I don't see any reason to think that these games are all of a sudden just going to get out of hand.
Yeah. So Jammer is stating that it's almost unplayable on his end. Of course, what we're seeing is different than what they're experiencing.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate if Jammer's saying it's unplayable. I know he's not the type to just say these things very loosely, so it must be pretty bad if he is actually saying something like that.
Okay, so Indio is going to try hosting.
I think Indio is a guy from Alberta, so still relatively a neighbor to Jammer in the Online 94 community. So hopefully that solves some of these issues for Jammer.
Well, if anything, I'll say this. It's made for some interesting, close 94 action, and I think the fans appreciate that. And I do apologize, with these delays. The last one we did when Anatar was playing Coke 45, I don't know what their personal experience was, but I know that it was pretty rapid succession. These games were out there. We didn't have these delays. So this is taking a little longer for some of you to enjoy. I apologize if you're seeing it after the fact. I'm not going to cut this thing up. We're going to just roll with it and try to get to the end.
It's felt kind of like a lazy Sunday to me. So having these games come out at a little bit more of a relaxed pace tonight, something certainly that I don't mind, allows me to kind of regroup after each game and really look at these team breakdowns. So we'll probably have Jammer at home, Drizzle on the road in this next matchup. I would expect to see either Edmonton or Philly for Jammer. They're both very strong home teams, so you expect to see one of them now and one of them in Game 5, with Toronto filling out Game 4. And for Drizzle, I would probably think Detroit or Quebec. They're the two better road teams that Drizzle has. So he's in a very fortunate position here where in game 3 and game 5, he can have a team with a low road disadvantage. If you see Philly, we'll probably see Detroit from Drizzle. If you see Edmonton for Jammer, probably see Quebec for Drizzle, as they're a little bit closer in the tier list.
Gotcha. And I sincerely hope we don't end up with a Toronto mirror match, because that will break my brain tonight.
We just might, because Toronto, I think, is average on the road and at home. So they're the best team suited for each player to be at home for Drizzle in game 4 and on the road for Jammer in game 4. So we may just break your brain, but we may require each player to ice a completely different roster to save yourself some power.
Well, we'll see how it goes. There'll be Rome. I'll be like, Road Gilmore and Home Gilmore. And I'll end up saying things like Homore. And, maybe I'll get canceled for that. Who knows?
Yeah, some things we have to be careful with around here, but hopefully the computer algorithms here at Twitch and YouTube are a little bit more forgiving than they have shown in the past.
I don't trust any of these algorithms. They'll block jukebox music at a public venue and monetize your entire 8-hour tournament stream. So we've got Detroit. That's got to be Drizzle, right?
That is Drizzle on the road, in Philly for Jammer. So this is kind of one of those matchups I had explained previously where, it was Edmonton for Jammer. We'd probably see Quebec, but now with Philly and their big forwards that do have some skill, Recchi and Lindros more in particular, just having that speed of Detroit may come in handy to try and run Philadelphia out of the building, try and skate around them.
Giving Jammer the green light. Green light, green light.
Yeah, go, go, go. That's what Detroit's going to try and do here. It's just go, go, go all around Philadelphia. They don't want to engage the Broad Street bullies. They want to disengage and find that open, quiet ice.
Angry J93 is updating the score, so not sure what we're seeing there. Just pulling that over real quick. The differential is 1-1. I think that, I think it's showing up correct.
So when I pre-fill out the matchup before it finishes, it has two matchups that look like the same because it doesn't know which winner to pull. That's why it might look a little off.
All right, Lindros taken down by Dino Cicerelli to Steve Yzerman. And Yuskevich harassing Yzerman, and he gets it up to Lindros. And Recchi on the wing feeds it back to Lindros in a shot. Now Fedorov the other way. Hoggood taken down by Jason, and Brenda Moore with a nice stick side, short side shot. And Philly takes the lead. Jammer now the first lead of the series as far as an opening lead. It's 1-0.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch that goal there. I was actually reviewing the goal differential once again. I did actually have an input error, so now we should be showing what was a 0 goal differential before this game.
Okay, Brindamore, who had he came across crease and then came back short side, and that's how he got that goal. So we have a penalty slashing against Sergei Fedorov, and see how many Russians we can fit in the penalty box at one time tonight.
Yeah, if we had a team that could set the record, it'd certainly be the Detroit Red Wings, but we're going to have a Canadian joining Sergei Fedorov here.
Well, I went to learn another player that isn't named Greg Hoggood because he is out for the game.
So we're probably going to see Gary Galley. Philly's defensive options are very thin, but Galley is probably the best of the rest. And that's exactly who we see come in.
Paul Coffey. Coffey's not Russian.
Not at all. Hopefully he...
And Mark Recchi with the turnover. Unassisted 2-0. Jammer making him pay.
Yeah, Jammer very fortuitous here. Just picks up that loose puck. Beats Chevelday, who's exposed on his glove side. And we'll see if Coffey serves a cup of coffee in the penalty box now as we're down to the one-man advantage.
Konstantinov in the lineup. And feeds it now to Fedorov. It gets taken down by Lindros and scoops up the puck. And a one-timer to Brindamore, who sends it out of play. We'll have a face-off in neutral ice.
Yeah, sharp angle shot, and that was sharply out over the boards. Just never really had a chance.
And the one-timer, Sergei Fedorov, assisted by Steve Yzerman. That Drizzle getting on the board. It's 2-1.
Another one-timer by That Drizzle, just the theme of his goal scoring here in these 3 games, and another really good one-timer opportunity, and he takes full advantage.
And Yuskevich pass is intercepted by Chason. Picked up by Konstantinov. Yuskevich the other way. Here he goes. Taken down by Yzerman to Chason to Fedorov. And a deke turned away by Soderstrom. Gary Galley lost the puck. And Fedorov has it. Being harassed by Recchi. Scooped up by Yzerman. Looking for an opportunity. Feeds it to Chason. To Konstantinov. To Paul Coffey. And the double stack pass by Soderstrom. He freezes it. And we have 11 seconds remaining here in the first period with Jammer up by 1. Gary Galley sends the puck up, and that will expire the time in the first period. It's 2-1 in favor of Jammer over That Drizzle.
Yeah, Jammer off to the quick start, but Drizzle with the good recovery, killing off the remainder of that penalty, the remainder of the 5-on-4 after the initial power play goal. Got a shorthanded goal of his own, got himself back into this game, and Philadelphia looks hot at home. Their guys are moving around, so That Drizzle's got to continue to stay on pace here if he wants to stay in this one.
Welcome to the second period. Any stats of note that stuck out to you there?
Just the penalties, mostly, Detroit going down 2 men and teams trading goals on the special teams.
All right. And some offensive pressure against the Red Wings there, turned away. And a one-timer on the wing to Cicerelli, and here comes Yuskevich the other way. And he beats Tim Shelvedere. And Soderstrom with the apple. It's 3-1.
Yeah, it looked like a case of where Paul Coffey was maybe a little too quick for his own good as he cut right in front of Yuskevich with his body check attempt, and Yuskevich just casually skated in and flipped that backhander over Cheveldare's glove.
The physicality of Philadelphia is winning right now.
Yeah, at home, if they're skating like this and if they're hitting, they can actually play with a team such as Detroit, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Mark Recchi taken down in the boards by Yzerman. Feeds up to Fedorov. Back to Yzerman. Up to Fedorov again. And the speed now for Detroit being productive. We've got a one-timer goal to Yzerman, assisted by Sergei Fedorov. It's 3-2.
And this is why Detroit is a borderline tier 1 team. They can ramp it up just like that, and their skill can hit you, as fast as lightning, as that one-timer just came off the Red Wing stick.
And we have a penalty from behind. Penalty shot now. Detroit with a chance to tie it up. All that speed on the ice starting to pay off for That Drizzle.
Yep, critical here. See what Jammer does. Same type of goaltending that we saw earlier, just stayed in the back of the net, took all the space that he could, and really not much space for That Drizzle.
And That Drizzle not being denied. Steve Chason, assisted by Steve Yzerman. It's a Steve connection, and we're all tied at 3.
Yep, the Steves combined powers, and Drizzle gets his own face-off goal. Both players now showing that they can do that off the draw.
Lindros feeds it on the corner to Recchi. Turned away. Gary Galley feeds it back to Recchi, and we have another goal. Philadelphia takes the lead back from Detroit. Jammer over That Drizzle, 4-3.
Quick answer by Philly on the forecheck, creating a turnover and just a quick pass over to Recchi all alone. He's not going to miss shots like that.
Man, just a lot of offensive pressure right off these face-off. Guys are not wasting any precious seconds when they get the face-off wins. And now fed up to Mark Recchi, and almost an own goal as Coffey intercepted a centering pass that was intended for literally no one. Gary Galley now up to Mark Recchi and looking for an opportunity. Brindamore holds on instead of letting it go. Pass intended for Gary Galley is intercepted by Coffey to Yzerman to Fedorov, looking for a lane, and he finally finds Yzerman on the wing. And Yzerman has a goal assisted by Sergei Fedorov. Roll tied at 4.
Great patience by That Drizzle to go down below the goal line, come back up, wait for that defense to clear out, and he had just a big passing lane to Yzerman, who put that one away. Another one-timer goal for That Drizzle.
Brindamore checked by Fedorov, and then the puck is scooped up by Lindros, who goes all the way. Short side deke, and Jammer taking the lead back. It's 5-4. Jammer over That Drizzle.
Lindros just carrying the entire Red Wings blue line on his back for that one. They were along for the ride, and Lindros put it in at the end.
Huge goal-saving check potentially there against Mark Recchi. That Drizzle minimizing the damage. Down 1 here as we go into 3. The score is 5 in favor of Jammer over That Drizzle 4.
Yeah, both players doing a really great job here, getting a lot of opportunities. We see 11-8 the shots for Philadelphia. They're moving well. They're taking advantage of their chances. Detroit's the one-timer game 3 for 5. That's keeping them in this one. But Philly using their brute strength and puck control to, Jammer had 4 minutes of attack zone time there to 2.5 for Drizzle. So we'll see what type of possession Jammer can maintain in the opposite zone. If he does maintain it there, I like his chances in this game.
Welcome to the third period. I'm Trojan with Angry J93. This is Game 3 of the Edge of 94 Consolation Hustler Super Nintendo Tournament. This is a 5-game series that has nothing to do with wins and everything to do with goal differential. As of right now, the Jammer is up 1 goal total as they both went +1 in the first 2 games. And another pipe. Man, the pipe is an MVP for sure, and there is a one-timer, a hat trick. You won't see him on the ice because it's on the road. Yzerman assisted by Dino Cicerelli, and we're tied at 5.
Yeah, nobody's stopping that one from Yzerman. Just a laser beam off the backhand one-timer. And again, that's the 4th one-timer goal for that Drizzle here. Just Jammer's got to find a way to try and stop those.
And Soderstrom went in double-stacked pads there and almost got beat across his face. Now, chase on to Cicerelli, to Yzerman, and it's intercepted by Recchi, who is being stalked, and feeds it to Brindamore. That one is turned away. Yzerman to Fedorov, back to Fedorov. And now Cicerelli gets up off the ice and tries to put it on, and he may have run into Tommy Soderstrom. We got a delayed penalty against the Red Wings. And Recchi puts a shot on Shelday, and it is turned away. It is Dino Cicerelli going to the box for interference.
Yep, exactly as you called it. Dino got a little too personal with Soderstrom, and he's going to have to pay for that one.
Didn't adhere to the social distancing guidelines. Apparently, only the goalies are wearing masks at this time. Paul Coffey to Yzerman, intercepted by Yuskevich, and I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I was going to say that the visors were still fairly rare in this time period.
And we have a goal, Lindros, assisted by Rod Brindamore and Dmitry Yuskevich. Is it Dmitry? I can't remember. 6'5".
Dmitry is his name indeed, and that's a big power play goal.
It's Russian. It's got to be Dmitry. There's only one. It's Dino or Dmitry, right? I mean,
yeah. There's not a whole lot of name variation. It's all in the last names for them, I think.
Oh my goodness. I feel like that's somehow racist or countryist or something, as like Russianist. Sovietist, whatever. 6-5 here after the icing call. And Gary Galley, who is in as a substitution, and another pipe. And Valboski talking about the pipe again. Ladies.
Yeah, just getting a lot of pipe. The pipe is getting a lot of action here tonight, especially in this game. And I know that pipe is pretty happy about that, as Jammer is about that goal.
And he knows how to do one-timers, apparently. So that's 7-5, and now extending the lead by 2. And Gaming Trucker, greetings to you. Thanks for the greetings. And that's a damaging goal against that Drizzle if there was under 15 seconds remaining in the game when that happened. So Jammer takes Game 3, 7-5, and will be +2. And taking the best team out of the equation for that Drizzle in the process. So well done by Jammer. And we're going to go to Game 4 next.
Yeah, indeed, a multifaceted type of win there for Jammer. +2 here. So he wins on the scoreboard and mitigates Detroit's effect here in this series. Those 2 late power play goals really sealed the deal. 3 power play goals in total for Philly. They were very deadly on that power play and made Detroit pay for their trips to the sin bin. And we might have our Toronto mirror match coming up next.
Oh, pull it out. Pull it out.
Hey, you made the rules. Now you must suffer the consequences of those decisions. You have no one else to blame.
I want to blame Thule. No, I'm just kidding. Thule is the mind, the brain behind all of this fun. And we're going to wait and hear from our players. What's next?
Maybe they'll do you a favor. They'll throw you a bone. They'll give you something a little bit more amenable.
I'll call Toronto mirror match. I mean, I'll be saying Borshevsky like 12 times fast.
Not just a kind of an interesting stat here. All 4 teams remaining are Canadian teams. So if you like your Canadian hockey, we got it here for you tonight.
All right, get your poutine, get your Molson Ice,
your Canadian bacon,
get your donuts, get your
Smoked
sorries
meat
out there. Okay, so we've got Jammer Edmonton at home. Are all you Canadians offended by my words a moment ago? Probably not. You'd probably apologize to me. Why can't I find the Oilers? There they are. And he's going to be Quebec.
Interesting decision here. I think Drizzle deferred to Jammer, allowing him to get Edmonton at home in Game 4 as opposed to Game 5. So maybe a bit of gamesmanship here by Drizzle to try and avoid that hot home team in Game 5. But we are now assured of a Toronto mirror match to decide the entire consolation bracket. So for any people from Toronto, any Toronto Maple Leaf fans, they're in for a good time because that's the only playoffs they're going to see for the rest of the year from the Maple Leafs.
I see Doug Waite's going to find himself on the bench pretty soon. Todd Ellick in there. Shane Corson, who's got, 3-foot accuracy.
That's about his limit, especially if he is hot. It might extend to 3.5 feet.
Oh.
Every inch counts in his game.
Ladies.
Ladies, indeed.
Every time the Velboski's in here, we got pipes, we got inches. Yeah, we have net penetration.
We know our demographic, and we know they are familiar with Val Venus and just his lifestyle.
Someone just clipped something by Big Velboski, so I'm afraid that I may be getting canceled here. Maybe he clipped out my Canadian bashing. Welcome to Game 4, and Jammer is +2. That's deux for you French players. Todd Ellick assisted by Dave Manson. It's 1-0.
And now
Jammer.
It's Trois goal advantage for Jammer. Quick goal off the faceoff.
I thought Trois was 3. I thought 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and he's +3.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, yep. I thought you were talking about in the game. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do all the math in French now in my head, and
when we get bilingual, wires cross. It gets very confusing. I mean, I can barely speak the first language. What am I doing complicating things? I gotta slow down.
¿Cómo están, amigos?
Now it's Trois languages. So we're on fire here tonight.
We've offended people on so many levels.
We're doing our very best. It's all in good nature. Just trying to incorporate all of the people of North America to our hockey tonight.
Kravchuk intercepted Gusarov. Puts a shot close in on Hextall. And Sakic gets knocked over. Corson feeding it to 15. Help me.
15. That's
Kevin Todd.
Kevin Todd.
Shane Corson. You know what? If you were stumped, then I'm okay with that. I don't play a lot of Kevin Todd. But
I was surprised to see him in Super Nintendo.
Yeah, he's usually a Genesis edition. And Kevin Todd, the previous goal scorer, taking it up, feeding it to Shane Corson, taken down by Mike Ricci, is it?
Yep, the 2 9s going at it.
Corson getting the better of that interaction. Skating, avoiding, up near the boards, Gusarov and company looking to harass. And it's turned away by Hextall, and the puck is clear. We're going to have icing against Quebec. 2-0 game here. Jammer over that Drizzle, who was up +2 to enter the game, now up +4. All about the goal differential in this. We have this and then one more game. Curtis Lecision here. Go ahead.
All Toronto battle coming up in Game 5, so be ready for that one.
And there is the coast-to-coast Peter Klima making this a 3-0 game. Jammer starting to, at least if I were to guess, starting to come out with a little more rhythm after the whole online debacle. It seemed like the game is running a little better for them. I haven't heard any complaints since the change.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption that the connection has improved and Jammer's able to find a bit more flow in his game. We've seen a little bit more consistency in his offense. He's creating more space, creating more chances. and he's taking advantage of them. Now we starts to see some daylight between these two teams.
And just as soon as I said that, I got a message from Jammer saying that this one's sticky too. So it is what it is. There's no money on the line here. This is pride and fun and closing out the tournament. So appreciate everyone hanging out. What else are you doing here? Is there real playoff hockey on? Mats Sundin, Chaos's favorite player, goes short side, gets the goal, and puts That Drizzle on the board. Decision and Richie with the assists. It's 3-1.
And that is why, according to Chaos, you put Sundin in the middle and let him do his thing, as we saw him deke out Ranford very nicely there.
It even looked like Richie touched him. He's going to go in. Oh, no, he got slashing. Did he slash the pads of help me, Bill Ranford?
Yeah, very subtle play there by Richie, and he's going to have to pay full price for that.
And Shane Corson looking like an MVP, beating Ron Hextall glove side with a spinorama and sent it home. It's 4-1.
Now, it was right before the buzzer, so those late goals in the period, they can be backbreakers, and Jammer now reestablishing his +5 advantage with that one.
I'm going to start calling Corson the eraser because he just erased that one goal that Drizzle got. Welcome to the intermission, and let's look at the stats.
Yeah, Edmonton, 6 shots. They're winning.
Chaos.
Winning the... Yeah, right on cue, Chaos.
Listen to my mic.
He got the notification. Trojans falling apart. It's going to be the all Angry Jay show, so strap in, buckle up, because it's going to get real ugly.
So,
okay, good. I think Trojan saved.
Well, the thing about this microphone is that it's really heavy. And while we have a goal, Shane Corson, good Lord, he is an MVP. He's going to go first in the draft. Next whatever tier you're in. Shane Corson, #1 overall.
Yeah,
Crab,
go ahead. Getting him within 3 feet often enough here to get that hat trick. I mean, he's just been deadly with those crease line snipes.
Shane Corson trying to go for his 37th goal, and he's got it, 6-1. Assisted by Dave Manzin. Actually, that's his 4th goal, but it's now turning to +7, and That Drizzle needs to put in some sort of damage control.
Yeah, he's got to get the puck on his stick. I mean, Shane Corson just keeps finding it, and he nearly has another goal there. So, really, Drizzle just needs to kind of change up the entire makeup of this game.
Sakic just crashed into a crowd, and he wasn't invited. Matt's Sunday. Go ahead.
I would say that's the worst kind of feeling to just show up and get bounced out immediately.
Kravchuk's pass bounces off the skate of his own player, but Klima does pick up the loose ends. Peter Klima, and wow, what a deke. 7-1. Jammer with Peter Klima unassisted, and it's looking like he's creating a hole that Drizzle may not be able to climb out of.
Yes, I think we're starting to see the distance now clearly, as that was a really sharp deke. I don't think manual goaltending would have even helped at all. Just incredible stuff there by Jammer while using Klima.
Ricci intercepted by MVP Shane Corson, and pass intercepted by Dave Manson. Helter-skelter to Kevin Todd, and the pass is turned away and a shot all the way across the ice. Gusarov scoops up what's left, but he gets intercepted by Klima. And by mere Steve Duchesne now up to Ricci, bounces off, and he gets it again. Corson has it, a turnover and another goal. It's 5 goals for Shane Corson. It's 8-1.
5 goals, and I think that might have been from 5 feet. That backhand looked like it came out of a cannon. And Anatar noticing that Edmonton, they're all skating like McGillney out there, and it looks very true. I mean, Quebec can't even cross the blue line without being completely harassed.
And there's a goal for That Drizzle. The Mats Sundin Joe Sakic score sheet. It's 8-2.
Yeah, a bit of a redemption there for Drizzle. He's going to need a few more of those to make Game 5 a more, reasonable goal to try and come back in this one.
And the one-timer, Igor Kravchuk from Klima and Kevin Todd, and really everything is going Jammer's way right now. Putting Stephanie Fise in the ice. This is the first time I've ever seen a true goalie substitution in any version of the game.
Yeah, just Kravchuk looking like McGillney on skates. Now he has Ray Bork's shot on top of that, so he's looking like an elite defenseman. His draft stock also skyrocketing, and indeed the goalie switch for Quebec. We'll see if that changes anything.
And Stephanie Fise, funny story. So you may remember a number of years ago when you were sick in Green Bay for the tournament, encountered some sort of food poisoning. Art O'Cal was in the broadcast booth with me, and at one point because he was calling part of the game in French, which was kind of entertaining in itself because he's Canadian and he speaks some French. He proceeds to say Stephanie Fise with the save, and I asked if that was French for Ron Hextall. And me not understanding that Stephanie Fise was a backup goalie for Ron Hextall. It was a funny moment, but it just goes to say you don't end up changing goaltenders out in this game unless you're just trying to be cute, kind of like what you did with the Genesis version of this.
Yeah, it's certainly, you're definitely not putting in the better goalie. That is 100% for sure. And Stephanie Fise coming up empty-handed, just like English Ron Hextall.
And Peter Klima assisted by Manson, and hats on the ice for him. And it's turning into the Oprah hat trick show. You get a hat trick, you get a hat trick, everyone gets a hat trick. I think Kravchuk's the next guy to try to get hats on the ice.
Yeah, he's certainly in line with his shot looking like Ray Bork.
It looks like Valerie Kamensky is on the ice now at right wing for Quebec. Gusarov still in there. Zakic to MVP Mats Sundin. And Kravchuk to Manson to Corson. Back to Kravchuk, tries to feed Klima. And now it is intercepted and cleared by Mats Sundin. And unable to get a hold of it, but Mats Sundin recovers his own puck. Fise bounces out after bouncing into Kevin Todd. And I need to calm down. There's spit all over my monitor.
You're just really into this one. It's guy's foaming at the mouth.
And Steve Duchesne clears it. Kravchuk touches up. And it'll be icing. 2:16 remaining here in the third. 8-goal deficit, which means plus 10 net going into the final game. So that Drizzle will have, well, he's going to have his work cut out for him in the Toronto Mirror match, and I'll have my work cut out for myself.
Yeah, I would suspect that Drizzle has longer odds in that matchup than you do in terms of throwing a perfect game, which I expect to see as we wrap up our tournament.
And we go, Dave Manson gets Fise out of position, unassisted. And it's 11-2.
Yeah, Manson, some reason, all alone at the top of the faceoff circles in the offensive zone, must be utilizing his longer leash in this goal differential here and outweighed the goalie, Stefan Fise there.
Kamensky behind Ranford and turned up now to Manson to Kevin Todd. And intercepted by Muir Steve Duchesne up to Valerie Kamensky and just sends it right in. I think he expected Ranford to come out and stop that one-timer. Fise scoops it up and intercepted as a turnover. Now up to Steve Duchesne. Sakic to Kamensky, intercepted by Manson. And a diving save by Fise. Puck is cleared and the time ticks away. Tick-tock. And that'll do it 11-2 here in Edmonton. Commanding victory in the first blowout we've seen in the series.
Three close games previous to this, but kind of start to see it go for That Drizzle in the previous game when he was Detroit against Philadelphia. Jammer just created so many chances, was so deadly on offense, and was starting to turn the defense around, and we saw that come to full effect here. Just 19-8 the shots. That's really tough to overcome as Quebec, and just everything really worked for Edmonton. They cashed in on almost every premium chance they had. They attack zone time, nearly 2 minutes extra. It really felt like Quebec never had the puck, and then they never had the puck in dangerous areas for very long, and kind of took the air out of this matchup as we go into game 5. And we have, like you said, the large goal differential, just plus 11. And with Jammer winning 3 games, That Drizzle's gonna need to win by 12.
So I don't know who's which. So Jammer's at home.
Okay.
So that's the team going up for you at home. We're going to do this just to kind of give people a little visual indicator.
Yep, Jammer will be wearing the home whites, Drizzle the away blues. And we'll see what type of lineups they both produce here. We'll expect to see Clark and Andrechuk in the forward line with Gilmore in some capacity.
All right. So just waiting to see the alignments, and at this point, we're just hanging out. So let's treat it that way in chat. Let's be respectful. I'm going to give just go out here and say this right now. I'm not, saying that Drizzle can't win this game. But I don't think that he can win this tournament with these equal teams against a superior player. But I'm going to give him credit for what he held Jammer at bay and took a game from him. A Jammer was a player that very well could have won this entire thing and found himself getting bounced with this format being what it is. So at home, the Whites, we have Jammer, who coincidentally I don't think actually is white, and that's a racial joke here on a Sunday. And we have now, so you're going to have to help me out a little bit. That's Ellett there coming the other way for that Drizzle. And Doug Gilmore from Ellett and Felix Potvin, and it's 1-0. And you have, 13 or 12 more goals to go?
Yep. So Drizzle's on pace to try and get this series back to even or in his favor. Long road still at the Hall, and can't be giving up chances like that to Gilmore when Jammer is behind the sticks.
And a put back there, so Doug Gilmore unassisted. And that Drizzle needing 10 more goals or so.
Yeah, this is the dream start, but that's just the start. I mean, Jammer's probably not even sweating yet. I mean, he's still certainly respecting Drizzle's game.
Pixel at Bauer, pull the goalie.
Yeah.
That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Oh, 3-0. And Gilmore with the Hattie already. So Jammer doesn't know how to play with Toronto, apparently. No, I'm just messing. Do you believe in miracles? If I can bust that call out, the old Al Michaels, Miracle on Ice, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. But Jammer looking to already use his Bob K Memorial timeout, switching the lineup around. Don't need to see the goalie pull quite yet. Drizzle's showing he can score without the goalie pulled quite to great effect so far in this one.
Jammer is home, so that means he is the white going up. So he is down 3 goals, just clarifying in chat. And I think instead of trying to go too much with the player play-by-play, I'm going to speak more generally about what's going on, because it's just too confusing with 2 teams of the same players going back and forth. So, well, speaking maybe the people controlling them in terms of them as opposed to the players on the ice. So, Jammer going up, and now there's a delayed penalty against Jammer. That Drizzle with an opportunity as behind net and is finally touched up by Jammer. And an interference call against his Doug Gilmore. That will hurt. Glenn Anderson is on the ice. That's number 9. I needed that little refresher. And Borshevsky's going to take the center position.
Yeah, so we see Jammer taking away his heavier players from the lineup, benching Andrzejczyk, benching Clark. I know he tends to like the lighter players, provided they have enough skill to do some damage. So no surprise here to see him go with the lighter Toronto lineup. We'll see if that changes things up for him at all. I mean, he still has a very comfortable lead at +8, and now he's on the penalty kill here.
And it looked like it may have had a chance. Of course, the net comes off the moorings, and we'll have a face-off now. And Borshevsky for Jammer loses it, and puck is floating around as Diavella picks it up and finally gets on the board and cuts the lead to 2. McCown, 34 McCown with the assist. And Borshevsky with that second assist, and it's 3-1 now in favor of that Drizzle.
And we see, I'm not quite sure who put in Todd Gill. Looks like it was Jammer. So again, he's going to the lighter player, benching the heavier McCown. And we see some slowdown here in the gameplay. McCown
for that Drizzle scoops it up. Borshevsky, and he had it, but it bounced off of the pipe. So more pipe action. And it's time to change directions. Entering intermission 3-1. That Drizzle over Jammer. That Drizzle, the long way to go.
Yeah, Drizzle had the great start, but Jammer with his changes in his timeout was able to really stem the bleeding there. Again, we see that both teams had 5 shots. Drizzle, 2 one-timers. We've seen his one-timer game again and again and again in this matchup. And he's finally getting that attack zone time that he didn't get in that last game against Edmonton, which really burned him and created the hole that he's in.
So now we have That Drizzle going up and Jammer going down with the home whites. And breakaway, and Doug Gilmour assisted by Borshevsky. So that's Gilmour's fourth goal for That Drizzle. All four of them coming on number 93.
Gilmour looking to answer the call here, trying to get this game back into a position where That Drizzle can put up a real threat, but so far, Jammer still very comfortable here.
That Drizzle with Gilmour and Jammer with Gil Less right now. That was a groaner, but Dave Ellett puts it home unassisted, and now back to 2-goal lead for That Drizzle.
And that's Ellett's second goal, so it's Gilmour 4, Ellett 2 in this matchup. The rest of the Toronto players are just kind of along for the ride here.
And double stack pads there for Jammer. Turns that one away. And the Glenn Anderson shot is turned away. Got some traffic here. And a shot is wide by That Drizzle as Dave Ellett missed it. And this time Doug Gilmour for Jammer is behind the net. And there's some natural picks, but he is being held and harassed, and now a penalty. And Doug Gilmour is out for the period for Jammer. Let's see if That Drizzle can do anything with that.
Yeah, we'll see, but he'll have to kill off a penalty first. And looks like Jammer staying with the lightweights. John Cullen keeping Andrew Chuck on the bench here. He just wants his best skaters on the ice to try and slow this game down and keep it from turning into anything that Drizzle can try and do with.
Drizzle will have to contend with Nikolai Borshevsky being on. Well, it doesn't matter because Jammer's Borshevsky just scored a power play goal unassisted, even though it was actually passed to him. There's that SNES bug we talked about before. It's 4-3.
Yep, critical power play goal there. Really, I think puts any doubt that we may have had about this game for Jammer, I think, was put away with that goal. This is really putting a cap on a brilliant consolation bracket performance after a little bit of a letdown in the main bracket for Jammer. I know he had a little bit of a bad break with connection with a couple players, and that was what facilitated him being down here with the consolation.
So hopefully, for future, just outside of this tournament, but just other leagues for it, I hope he's able to identify what that could be. I know that is it's not the only reason, but it's a reason that I have neglected from participating in any long-term. Oh boy, well, the lead is eroded, just like Drizzle's chances to take this one. But this game is close. It's 4-4, and I'm going to give all credit to Drizzle. He had one bad game. The rest of the time he's been hanging with Jammer, so props to him as we enter into the third period shortly here as this one wanes away. And almost a John Cullen goal there to take the lead for Jammer, but he does get held in the crease. And that will take us to the third period, the final frame of this one. If you're still out there in chat, I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. I'm Trojan with Angry J. This is Game 5. And Jammer put Doug Nunn in to make it interesting? I don't know what that means.
Must be a typo somewhere.
Probably enjoying the Molson a little bit. Maybe that the Canadian green that you're allowed to smoke with the right creds. And Borshevsky gets a goal assisted by Todd Gill and Glenn Anderson. So now Jammer finally taking the lead.
Yeah, Jammer showing that his coaching changes coming to great effect here. Just using the lighter players, he's been able to elude Drizzle's defense a bit more. Nearly had another goal there. The Pipe getting more action. The Pipe just should be fully satisfied tonight after all the activity. And another goal here for Jammer.
Todd Gill getting it done with John Cullen and Glenn Anderson. And it's 6-4 Jammer now. Running off into the sunset with no doubt.
Yep, this is, again, just him putting the feather in his cap in a brilliant consolation run. I don't even know if he lost the game. I'd be a little bit surprised if he did, with just the way we've seen him play tonight, fighting through the connection, fighting through That Drizzle, who put up a very spirited effort in this final time. Again, like you said, only just the one bad game, and every other game has been very competitive.
The one-timer has certainly been working for That Drizzle, and I think that's a strategy he can build upon. He seems to be excellent at that. And GG's coming in from Chaos. Thank you for hanging out tonight. And I don't know if we're going to do an interview or anything. There's no prize money on this, just pride. But if you pay to be in the tournament and you get bounced in the first round, I feel like you should have an opportunity to continue playing at least one more round, and that's what we did with this. And so I guess I'm going to use this last moment here to... And we got a goal there, hat trick from Dave Ellett, so Jammer extending the lead to 3. And if you haven't yet, or if you're looking for something to do this summer, we could really use some more players for our Hustler Super Nintendo NBA Jam Tournament Edition tournament. We'd like to start Wednesday. That's the plan. If we have enough players, we can always delay that a little bit. But we're gonna do it with some 2-on-2 jamming. And if you don't love hearing Tim Kitzerow's voice over and over and over, you're gonna hear it a lot.
Yeah, it's a tournament I expect to sign up in here very shortly. I hope others come to play as well. It should be a wide open tournament in a lot of cases, and I don't think a guy like DPS is going to win it. I think we're all going to dunk on him and send him home with his tail between his legs.
Green Magic's in, and he's a contender as well. But that'll do it here. 7-4. Jammer takes the consolation. So let's look at the final damage here. I'll pull up the did I close that? Oh, there it is. Okay. So the final score. So a 14 differential out of 5 games played, but it didn't start there. Really, the story there is that 9-game, just absolute atrocious beat down the Edmonton over Quebec matchup. But other than that, it's been absolutely a very watchable series. It just kind of wrapped up sooner than we wanted it to. So, yeah, that's all we got. So, any closing thoughts?
I think, like you said, aside from that one game, this is a very enjoyable series. We saw a lot of beautiful one-timers from That Drizzle. He was trying to do everything he could on defense, but in the end, Jammer showing that, why he was a previous King of 94 champion. He adjusted to the gameplay, was able to create his own chances, and really took advantage of it with Edmonton and Shane Corson, making him look like a round 1 draft pick in a draft league instead of just a regular grinder on a bottom tier team. So congratulations to him, and congratulations to That Drizzle for really putting on a great performance throughout the tournament, and especially in the consolation bracket.
I'll throw a link real quick here in chat for those that stumble on this, that don't know about our group already. Those that want to play NBA Jam, you can do that there. Thanks to Angry J for hanging out. I don't know, I know Dan K did some announcing with me, and it was more for Slapstick, and that was fun too. So thanks to him for his contributions earlier. Thanks to everyone who hung out. I know that the main tournament wrapped up a week or so ago for Anatar over at Coke 45. But this has been fun. I hope to continue to do more things. You guys want to play them, I'll throw them on, and I have tremendous help from guys like Chaos, Technical John, Angry J93, King Raph. Can't do it without you guys, and I really appreciate it. So, and for watching it. So if you played it, you helped, whatever it was, thank you very much for that. So I think I'm gonna close this out, buddy.
All right, sounds good. And it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed this tournament. I think everybody else did. I think it's got 10 out of 10.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. All right, guys, we are out. Take care. Good night now.